The much-awaited 2G scam verdict has been announced today. While all the politicians involved have been given a clean chit and acquitted of all charges, many questions come up about the timing of the 2G verdict and also various other aspects. We have with us Mr. Rajeev Chandrasekar, the Member of Parliament. So, sir, first of all, just give us your opinion on what you think about this.
Look, I think we should be clear that the 2G verdict today was on a limited issue of the criminal conspiracy charges being filed against two politicians and a few bureaucrats. And the judge has ruled in a 1,500-page judgment that the prosecution has failed to make the case of criminal conspiracy. But to use that judgment to make a case that the 2G scam did not exist, which is what some people are trying to do furiously this morning, is to ignore the fact that Supreme Court in February 2012 has already ruled that the method used by the UPA government under Manmohan Singh to give away free spectrum was wrong, illegal and arbitrary. It cancelled 122 licenses that were awarded by the UPA government, and it also insisted that the spectrum can only be given through an open, transparent process of auctions. So today's judgment is a limited judgment that says that Mr. Raja, Ms. Kanimori and the two bureaucrats, the CBI and the Enforcement Department, have failed to prove the case of criminal conspiracy against them, which could also mean that the money trail was not detected, etc., etc. And I'm pretty sure that the investigative agencies will go on appeal. It is also important for you to know that, for example, in Jessica Lal murder case, if you remember the Jessica Lal murder case in Delhi, the trial court discharged the accused and said that the accused was innocent. It took an appeal to the High Court to find that he was guilty. So the process of appeal will be clearly followed by the investigative agencies. This does not by any stretch of imagination mean that the scam did not exist. The scam was very much there. A lot of people try to make a lot of money out of it, and it is only through active media and parliamentary intervention that that could be exposed.
And sir, there are a lot of questions being raised right now about, first of all, the 2G verdict and also the release of Jayalalitha's video. Is this a gimmick by the involved parties?
No, look, I think, please understand, this is a CBI court, and I don't think the judge will put himself in a situation of helping a DMK election in RK Nagar. That would be very, for us, very presumptuous to assume. It is a judicial process. We must respect that process. But what is happening in Tamil Nadu politics is unfortunately a low. It is a low in an already low standard of politics compared to many other states, and it is politics that is it is assuming and taking for granted that people are not capable enough to cut through the truth and see the truth. And I'm hopeful that the Tamil voters will, in RK Nagar, prove that they are not to be taken for granted.
And so, talking about the RK Nagar elections, do you think that this verdict will in any way influence the ongoing elections?
Look, in everything that is remotely connected to a politician, politicians will always try and make something out of it. So I do not put it past the DMK to try and make political capital out of today's judgment, as the Congress is already trying to do so the whole morning. But it is for people, intelligent voters, to cut through this spin and the propaganda and decide what is right and wrong for them and for their constituency. And I hope the voters of RK Nagar, live up to the promises of our democracy.
So, and last question, when the video of Jayalalitha was released yesterday, people said that it was going against the poll conduct. So, isn't the timing of the verdict also in a way going against the poll conduct?
No, I don't think so. I think a CBI court and a decision of a court has nothing to do with polls. It is completely independent of election processes. The Supreme Court, the High Court and the district courts have credibility and a standing in our system where they do not necessarily respond to or act basis on polls.
And so, final question, what is your expectation going forward?
No, look, my expectation, as I've been saying the whole day morning, and I said all through those years when I was fighting the 2G scam, is that it is clear that a crime was committed. It is clear that people benefited from that crime. Now the only remaining question is, who were the aiders and abettors of the crime within the government? Today's court case shows that these four people were not those. So were they different people? So I think it's up to the investigative agencies to make a case, because without collusion from within government, people cannot pull off such a big scam. And we know that a scam was committed. So therefore, it is now up to the investigative agencies to now decide who were the people within the government who actually aided and abetted the scam.